What's up, bros and O's, or whatever floats your goat? It's your boy Relentless, bringing you yet another Division video. First and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you for your support. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for hitting that like button. You guys are the greatest. Don't forget to check out Revolution Gaming. Their link is in the description below. Also, the Cinch Gaming Controller, Pro Controller with Cinch Tech is still in the process of being given away. We're only about 67 subs away, and that $180 value controller will be given away to one lucky individual. So check out the link in the description. It's free to like, it's free to sub to the channel, it's free to comment on the video as far as your platform of choice. So be sure and check that out, and don't miss out on a great and awesome product. It will take your gaming to another level. With its remapping technology, you can remap the buttons just by using a simple app on your phone. But without further ado, let's jump right into this build video. It's more or less my updated Predator's Mark, and it completely shreds, and this is becoming one of, I guess, the top 3 builds that I like running in the DZ. In PvP situations or in Last Stand, because I just love watching people bleed and flop around like a salmon going upstream, or like they're covered in fire ants. It's just funny to watch. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. As you can see, 349k DPS, 319 toughness, and 123k skill power. My weapons of choice is always the Black Market Sausage with 98.5k damage, with brutal, responsive, and competent, and the magazine size is 110.5%, 5% reload speed, and 5.3% rate of fire. In my optics, 24.5% optimal range, 3% crit hit chance, and 4% crit hit damage. Small underbarrel is my vertical grip, 49% optimal range, 5% reload speed, and 4% crit damage, which gives me a total of around 73% optimal range, and actually it makes the range even greater than my primary, which is the MP5 ST, and it has responsive, deadly, and vicious. Instead of vicious, I'd rather have probably unforgiving in this slot, or I do have this MP5 or MP7 down here, but the requirements of it, you know, I don't exactly meet them, and this is the functionality. The way this build functions now is perfect for my playstyle, because I like to be up and in the mix and putting as much damage downrange as possible. And on my attachments, 109.5% magazine size, 3% crit chance, 5.2% rate of fire. I got a rugged mini reflex sight, 7.5% crit hit chance, 5.5% headshot damage, 4% crit hit damage. And my Tyrant Suppressor, 7.5% critical hit chance, 5.5% headshot damage, 4% crit damage, and 47% reduced threat. And a small grip at 19% crit hit damage, 2% accuracy, and 2.5% stability. Now let's jump on into the gear here. I am utilizing the Rapid Chest Piece, 1249 main stat, 1720 base armor, which is a little low. I wish I can find a rapid chest that has better armor, but if need be, I can easily switch to this chest piece and be a little more tankier. If I choose to go a little more skill power, then I can easily switch to this vest, and as you can see, it has skill haste and health, and the one I'm currently using also has skill haste and health, with 50% ammo capacity in my minor attributes, and in the mod slots, 263 electronics with 3% skill haste, and another 263 electronics and 3% skill haste. But in this situation, you can either run a Barrett's chest piece. If you have one, you can run Vigorous. You can even run Reckless if you choose to. If you want to, say, switch out one of these gear pieces that have rolled for firearms to stamina, and then slap on a Reckless, it also works out. But for my playstyle and mine alone, so you'll have to decide, you know, what's your playstyle. With only, you know, 123k skill power, which is still pretty good, and stacking skill haste on all my mod slots and on my chest piece and my holster, I get my heals back very quickly, and then the rapid just plays right into that, and it works out really nice. Moving on to the mask, 950 base armor, good armor, firearms roll, major attributes, 4% crit hit chance. You can substitute the crit hit chance for skill power, that's what I'll inevitably end up doing. I also have this mask down here. If I want it to be a little more tanky, I could easily switch to it, and it has a good roll on it. It's just the base armor roll is a little low for my standards. But for the time being, this works out really nice. And also in the minor attributes, burn resistance, that's always good because of those pesky flame turrets that you find in the DZ. And moving on to my mod slot, I have 261 firearms and 3% skill haste. And then my knee pads, good armor roll, could be a little higher, but it's sufficient for this build. Good stamina roll, major attributes I chose for the health, and then the minor attributes, disrupt resistance, shock resistance, and burn resistance. So I got another burn resistance there. Shock resistance is always good for those shock turrets, and instead of the disrupt resistance, I prefer bleed resistance. And that's my all-time trifecta as far as when it comes to minor attributes on knee pads, is bleed resistance, shock resistance, and burn resistance. I also have these knee pads here. If I actually want to go a little more, glass cannon, so to speak, and just stack on as much firearms as possible. But as you can see, I dropped like 27k in toughness. But for giggles, we'll flip it on there and see what the base damage. See, it raises my base damage of my sausage 8k and another 2k on my SMG. But as it stands right now, me running this in the DZ, it's worked out really nice. So I just leave it as is, because if it ain't broke, then it doesn't need fixed. And then in mod slots, I have 259 stamina, 3% skill haste, and first aid self-heal. Moving on to the backpack. A specialized backpack is becoming the go-to backpack for basically any build. It gives you that extra around 20 to 30k boost in skill power. And the more you spec into firearms and stamina, the better skill power you actually get. So it lessens the chance of to where you have to stack on so much skill power. It has a good firearms roll, a good armor roll, and in major attributes I have health, and minor attributes I have bleed resistance. And in the mod slots, 248 stamina. Hopefully the RNG gods will bless me with a better stamina mod with skill haste. And also I have 6% first aid self-heals. Moving on to the gloves. 1250 in firearms, 994 base armor roll, which is good. It only goes to 1001. And the major attributes, I have the trifecta, SMG damage, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. For instance, if I just didn't want to go with the rapid chest piece and go with the Predator's Mark chest, I could easily switch to these numerous different Savage gloves that I have. I have one with shotgun damage, crit chance, crit damage if I wanted my SASG-12 to be my primary, and it would also make me more tanky. I chose to go with an assault rifle. I have these gloves. So basically I have Savage gloves for every type of situation there possible. So it's just a matter of personal preference on how you want to do this build, but I feel that I get more benefit out of Rapid than I would Savage gloves, because when using my MP5 there, I'm at 56% crit hit chance, and I'll show you that in a minute. So therefore I don't necessarily need the Savage gloves. Gives me over my crit cap for targets out of cover, and since I'm right there at 56%, anything over 50, in my personal opinion, I think you're good to go in that situation. Now let's moving on to the holster. I wish I had a little better armor roll on these. Another 120 on these armor would actually work out well, but these have skill haste, and the main stats across the board are really nice at 1268, 1250, and 1265. And in the mod slot, why do I have Seeker Mine damage? I'm not running Seeker Mines. But anyways, that should be that one right there. Another first aid self-heal. But as you can see, like I said in previous videos, it's good to have 2 of every piece of gear that you have, such as one roll for skill haste, or different multi guns for your gloves, as far as SMGs, shotguns, marksman rifles, assault rifles. It's good to have one for every situation and every build, depending on what situations you do get yourself into. Whether you prefer running an AR, an SMG, an LMG, a marksman rifle, a shotgun, whatever the case may be, it's good to have different ways and means to flip-flop back and forth on what kind of build you're going for, so that way you can keep tweaking here and there and come up with the best formula to fit your playstyle. Now moving on to the character sheet. See, as you can see, crit hit chance at 56%, 83% crit damage, and 61% headshot damage. 123k skill power, 28% skill haste, which comes in really nice and handy. And then my toughness is 320 with a max health pool of 219k, and my armor mitigation is at 31.3. Now, if I had a better armor roll on the holster and a better rapid chest piece with better armor rolls, my toughness would actually go up, and it should be sitting around 327 with better armor rolls. So if you have better armor rolls on gear pieces such as the ones that I have here that I'm showing, then your toughness would actually go up. But my survivability is really good. I get my heals back in adequate enough time, so it all works out really well. So if you like watching people bleed and flop around and dishing out tons of damage, then I recommend trying out this build. Whether you prefer an MP7, I just choose and rather prefer an MP5 due to the magazine size, and it has great rate of fire. And I also love my SASG 12, but if I chose to, I could also run this classic AK with 25.8k base damage. I have a Hungry Hog, MP7, Pecan. The sky's the limit. It's just whatever your personal preference is. But that's going to wrap it up for this build video. Thank you guys so much for your support and tuning in. And if it's been informative and you've enjoyed it, if you don't mind, please hit that like button. If you have any suggestions, any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And once again, I thank you guys so much. Check out Revolution Gaming. The description is in the link in the description below. And
I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family, credit cards in the scammers, hitting the licks in the van.